You were just on Be Real's podcast, which is such a great podcast. Such a great podcast.
Wow.
I think I know why you're saying wow, because by the end of the podcast, we couldn't even see anything anymore because it was so smoky in there. And we were just like, dude, first of all, it's amazing to be on Be Real's podcast.
For sure.
He does a great job. Great job.
Yeah, it was
him
super
and his
cool.
crew.
I was like, damn, Tony, you do your work, bro. Real shit. Because like going on,
He hit me up.
It's almost like you don't say no.
Here's the story behind, I do have to say, here's the story behind Be Real. I owed him a favor. That's not why I did it, but he showed up for us on King of the Road because there was a challenge that you had to skate with a multi-platinum rapper.
Gotcha.
And you got more points the more album sales they had.
Amazing.
And I know Exhibit, so I hit up Exhibit, and he's like, oh man, I'm not in town, but you should hit up Be Real. Like, Cypress Hill has sold
You guys
tens
win
of
with these
millions
guys.
And so I was like, you think he'll do it? He's like, yeah, man, Be Real's down. He's down to do stuff. And so I hit him up, and the next night he showed up with the Birdhouse team somewhere downtown LA. I wasn't there, but he did it.
No way.
And
That's
I think he's a big reason that we won that thing.
Sick.
Yeah, points came in.
And so we have been in touch ever since then. And he hit me up to do this, and I missed a date that there was some date he set, and I couldn't do it that date. And then he hit me up again, and he actually got like, they send their minions out to harass people online.
Okay.
And so he put the word out like, yo, tag
Give
Tony
him.
Hawk on
Give
all of
him.
his social media.
Right. So you saw that.
And it worked. I saw it. And so I said, yo, man, I got the, I hear the call. What do you want to do? And he's like, yeah, man, come up, let's do it. And so I came up there, and I don't really smoke weed. I did sometimes as a kid.
The call to action worked.
I do
And
the
sometimes
call to
the year.
action.
I never felt like I could really function highly doing
Right.
that, and it definitely affected my skating. So I'm not opposed to it. It just didn't really work for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
When I went there, in 20 minutes, my throat was burning intensely. I mean, like, it was hard to breathe. And by the end of it, I'll never forget, I left their parking lot, and they're deep downtown LA. I got on the road, and I was like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. I don't remember. Am I supposed to go home now? Like,
The essence of secondhand smoke.
I was out there, yeah. So I pulled over on this busy street, just off on the side, and just sat there on my phone for like a half hour,
Just
looking at social media and just trying to get some sense of normalcy. And then I was like, okay, I'm good to go. I'm okay.
I love it.
Because those guys do not mess around.
Even if you try to indulge, let me just have one little hit with these guys. You know what I mean?
It's probably the
I
best.
would
It's
have
the
been,
best.
useless on that show for sure. I mean, and they're all bragging about it. You know, they've got like the most intense strains and everything else. And they were with, is it Trick Daddy, the guy from Detroit?
Detroit.
Not Trick. I
Trick.
forgot
His name
name.
is Trick. I think Trick.
Trick, yeah.
Trick.
Trick.
Yeah.
No, Trick. I know Trick Daddy is.
Yeah.
Trick came, and he had some weed that he was bragging about that they all were like, oh, dude, he's got the orangutan. And then they started smoking that, and I was like, I have to get out of here.
Is it a small environment? Is it like a small
in a little
very
car or
small,
some shit.
It's 6 dudes all smoking joints the entire time in a very small setting.
Oh, I thought it was in a car because they have a car setting as well.
Oh,
but this might have been a little different.
No, that's he told me about that. I was like, dude, I won't survive that.
Right.
And
Hot
you don't
box.
go. That's the hot box.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
like
hot
you don't go
box,
in the
yeah.
hot box unless you smoke with them.
There you go.
We were laughing because we
Oh
were
my
talking.
God,
We were like,
yeah.
dude, the room was just smoke. Like he had to have gotten.
No,
like,
I was overall.
Oh, yeah,
I was just
for
like,
sure.
damn,
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
like amazed and stoked that you actually did that interview. It was amazing. Seriously.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
I
it
tried
is.
to tell him too. You know, Cypress Hill was one of the first real champions of legalizing weed
Oh hell yeah.
in a very
Big time.
public way and in a very successful way.
Yeah.
And I try to tell him, I go, I credit you. I give you a lot of credit for how far this has all come.
Right.
Yeah, they were definitely forefront.
That
of
was
shit.
that was their brand.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every song. Seriously,
I
almost
love
every
you,
song.
Mary Jane.
Yeah. Snoop as well.
Oh yeah,
Snoop.
he definitely
Snoop
has
for
that.
sure. Oh, I mean, he's the king.
And then also, I mean, I'm a fan of Joe Rogan. I listen to his podcast as well as long. If it's somebody that interests me or whatever, even if it's somebody I never even heard of, I'll take a listen for a while. But that's so amazing that you got to do that podcast, and like you know him. That is the podcast.
Hell
That's the
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
podcast.
It
Yeah.
is.
I actually hit him up because he had Tom Green on, and I just love Tom.
Tom's
Yes,
amazing.
I love Tom Green.
And I hit up Joe. We had been communicating on Twitter through the years, and I just said, hey man, that was really cool having Tom on. Like I think Tom's so cool. He's I feel like he's really rebranded himself, and it's cool to see him getting recognition. And he's like, yeah man, come up anytime.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That was his
I
answer.
said, really? This is like right during COVID, the beginning of COVID.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
Okay, sure, yeah, I'll come up.
Because listen, he probably has a waiting list like no other to get on that show. He probably has.
Yeah, I really
talk about
didn't
call to
expect to be
action.
invited. There was not what It wasn't like some. It wasn't some ulterior motive to reach out to him. I genuinely was just stoked to see Tom on there.
Tom's so sick.
Fast forward to Riley was just in Austin on a skate trip, and Riley texted me and said, "Hey, Joe Rogan's playing here tomorrow night." And I was like, "How is that possible?" And he said, "Can you ask him for tickets?" And I go, "Yeah, sure, I guess. I don't, And I hit him up on Twitter. And sure enough, he got Riley tickets, and I'm super jealous now because Riley got to see him and Chappelle perform
Oh, wow.
So sick.
live in Austin last night.
Oh, wow. Last night.
I thought it was just Dave Chappelle, but you're now Joe Rogan. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the facilitator. I wanted those tickets.
If Tony would have known, he would have been out there. And
No, I think it's
day
super cool.
too
Like,
late.
and also, how Chappelle does it, everyone has to get tested.
Yeah.
Everyone sits at a table with their own group. Everyone wears a mask. He has figured out how to make it work in this setting.
He's had a bunch of them outdoors and
had
stuff
2 or
like
3
that.
so far.
Yeah, so this one was outdoors in Austin, and
So
Riley got to go.
fucking
I was super jealous.
I trip out on Joe Rogan because he's a comedian first, very funny guy.
Was
but on
that
his
the first? Was he first a comedian?
He does like everything, I feel.
No, I know.
Fear
I mean,
Factor.
Fear Factor was the first thing I seen him on. So
I
Yeah,
think he's
same
always
here.
been like a comedian.
Yeah, I think he did stand up, and that's how he
That's
got
how he kind
recognized.
of
Amazing.
But he's not that like he's funny on his show, but he has very like serious conversations. That's
Yeah,
why I
it's
kind of
more
trip
in-depth.
out on him. He's more of like he's got his comedic side and then his podcast side and then his podcast side. He could talk to an astronaut, a
Anybody.
fisherman, a senator, he could-
skateboarder.
Skateboarder. I mean. He's so versatile
Very
in conversation.
well-rounded. Yeah.
Like I'm like, does he research these people?
Yeah,
Or-
he's genuinely interested.
Yeah.
That's the thing about doing interviews, especially when you do talk shows. You have to do a pre-interview, and they want little perfect sound bites of stories or something that is very tight, and it's cool, it's awesome, but it also feels very fabricated or rehearsed a lot
Like
of
you've
the time.
talked about it already, and now you're talking about it for the
Yeah,
second
and
time.
even when you're on the other end of it, the host will set you up for the story that you're going to tell that has this perfect little ending to it.
Right.
And that's just how it is on those television shows. But when you do something like with Joe Rogan and other podcasts too, you can let the conversation flow, but he's really good at getting into the interesting stuff, like Howard Stern.
Yes. Yes.
Howard Stern's
one of the
like,
best.
he's the king.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find him fascinating. I mean, Howard Stern as well. He's radio. I mean, podcast radio. It's kind of the same thing now that the.
But when
interviews
you
and
have a
stuff like
host
that.
that's disarming,
Yeah.
where you do feel relaxed, you just get better.
Yeah.
You get better
Yeah,
stories.
you get a better
better
for sure.
information.
Totally. Yeah, I love it, man. I mean, wow. Look at it.
Those are the 2 right now.
Those are the 2.
Yeah.
100 mil Spotify.
And you guys.
Thank you.
That's
bro.
it.
That's
That's Mount Rushmore.
There you go.
Rogan, Stern, 9 Club.
9 Club. I like the sound of that.
That is not
You're gonna have
bad.
to put that in writing, man.
That's awesome.
No, but I just think it's amazing you have gotten to do so many amazing things.
It is crazy.
It's crazy, Tony.
I never take any of that for granted. I am super thankful and amazed that I get to do all that stuff. And when I do it, I want to represent skateboarding the best I can when I do it. You know what I mean? I'm not just there for my own success. Like, this kind of stuff, you know, I don't get paid to go on Joe Rogan.
Right.
I didn't get paid to go on this big game show. And it's all for charity. I just really enjoy it. And I feel like if I get to do those things, I'm raising awareness for skateboarding somehow, some way.
Definitely.
To a new audience.
Yeah.
Even if you go on the Joe Rogan Experience, skaters supporting skaters.
Hell
That's what you're doing. You
Sure.
know, you're putting it out there.
Fuck
you know?
Yeah, and make no mistake, like, of course I make good money.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I make a good living, and I have good salaries and good royalties and stuff like that. And it's not all altruistic. Like, I'm still hustling. But it is, I reached a place where I don't have to struggle for that stuff. Yeah. And so I'm able to enjoy all the more extracurricular opportunities without being obnoxious about it, I hope.
But you don't forget why this has all happened, and that's the main thing. And it shows, Tony, like, really, I'm not even just trying to say that, but like, you're this, I mean, even for myself, man, you've been a staple for skateboarding for me since I started. So it's like, for me, in hindsight now, I'm like fucking 43 years old. I'm like, you're still doing it, and I'm like so thankful, and to be honest, like, it's truly amazing, man. And like I said, man, that's why I said you're the skateboard godfather for me. You know what I'm saying? And like, and just to see what you've done with it, and it's, you know, you put skateboarding on a really, really, really amazing platform, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Thanks, man. Well, I mean, that's, you know, that's what I hope to do, and I do feel like I get these rare opportunities to do just that, and it would be wasted if I were just there living it up.
Yeah.
You could tell it's genuine. That's why it's like, it's a beautiful thing to see you on all these things. And I'm like, why is he on B-roll shit? And I'm like, that's why. It's all because of skateboarding. Yeah. Straight up.
It's genuine, but like, all skateboarders are so proud to have you like represent skateboarding.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not just because it's also because of video games. Like, that's for sure my foot in the door to a lot of these things.
Right.
Yeah.